So it's the middle of October, and I am continuing to progress on planning our big epic family road trip from Oregon to Virginia and back next summer. And today I'm going to talk about why we are definitely including Kansas on our cross-country trip. I just got back from 10 days in Kansas, specifically about 5 days in Wichita, and then another 5 days-ish exploring northeast Kansas. But let me tell you, there were a bunch of places I wanted to go in other parts of the states that I didn't have time for. But here's some great reasons why, if you are traveling for America's 250th semi-quincentennial sometime next year, you should definitely add Kansas to your list. Number one, Santa Fe and Oregon Trail both pass through there, as well as several other historic trails. Santa Fe Trail was a commerce trail back and forth, so that had a lot of traffic, and also Oregon Trail pioneers passed through there. That's a huge part of the American story, so that's one reason to stop there. Lots of sites, lots of neat living history places there. You've got the Boot Hill Museum in Dodge City. You have the old Cowtown Museum in Wichita, which I got to check out. You can see my page soon for those stories. There's also Oregon Trail and Santa Fe Trail ruts throughout the state. Just so much American history there in terms of the Old West history. Another reason you should definitely add Kansas to your list is it is the home of, I believe it's 5 recognized indigenous tribes, and there are monuments there for them. There are sites that are sacred to them. Wichita has a couple of really great places that you should add to your list if that's something you really want to focus on. They have the Mid-American, I think it's the Native American Museum there, but it might be the Mid-American Indian Museum. I can't remember the specific name, but that's there in Wichita, and it's specifically dedicated to indigenous cultures and peoples. And there's also, of course, in Wichita, the Black Bear Bosun statue, the Keeper of the Plains, which lights up every night as long as the weather's good. The fire pot's pretty awesome and gorgeous to look at. There's a lot of other native sites there as well throughout the state. Again, there's also the Tallgrass Prairie Preserve, which is a natural, untouched section of prairie that also has free roaming wild bison still there. Those are a huge part of the history of the Americas, both before colonization. Sorry, loud cars passing by. Both before colonization and throughout history, and so those are epic sites that you don't want to miss in Kansas. Third reason is there's a small corner of the southeastern part of the state where Route 66 passes through. And of course, Route 66 is the American road. And so there's some great stuff connected to that there. Check out the gorilla safari in that area. I won't spoil the surprise, just check it out. And there's just a number of historic sites in Kansas. Of course, Kansas, again, is the home of the Bleeding Kansas issues from the Civil War. The state capitol building in Topeka is incredible. It's like a museum all by itself, but there's just so much gorgeous art there and storytelling about important people from the state of Kansas. Of course, Eisenhower was born there. His presidential library is in Kansas as well. So Kansas is just a huge part of American history, American culture, and there's way more there than a person could see in just a couple of days. I realize a lot of this is probably something that maybe some of us have never thought of. I know I certainly didn't realize how much Kansas had to offer for American history and culture, and North American history and culture. And so it's definitely a place you should be adding to your list. We are planning to spend probably at least a week there on our trip next summer, maybe more, depending on how much we have time for. But really, I mean, according to my husband, we could never have too much time in Kansas because there's just so much to do. I've left out a lot of things. There's history of other immigrants, like there's a Swedish town there, Lindsborg, which I'm probably mispronouncing. What else? There's Hayes and Abilene. I mean, there's the history of Black Americans, the Buffalo Soldier Monument there at Fort Leavenworth. I mean, there's just so much. There's the first Native American, sorry. There's the first black town west of the Mississippi. I think I'm saying it right. Nicodemus is there. Yeah, you just really need to plan to spend some time there if you really want to complete your America's 250th stops and understand the story of this country and why we are where we are. So that's my update for now, just that we're going to definitely be hitting Kansas on that trip. And let me know what other states you think are can't miss, and also if there's any cool events you've heard about that are happening for America's 250th, let me know. Okay, thanks.